couple of years down the road,
Yeah.
you step off the stage drenched in sweat. You were
Right.
headlining a show.
Drenched in sweat is what you said.
Drenched. Halfway through the show, you kind of started making a joke because you did that thing that happens with with guys like us, where like sometimes you sweat underneath your your man
Yeah, yeah.
your man tits, and then you sweat there, and then it looks like a smiley face because like you start sweating underneath your belly too. So you make a sweat smiley face,
Ugh.
and but like halfway through, like you kind of notice, and you notice right when everyone in the audience is like, "Oh, is that like a sweat?" And so you look down, and you go, "Well, at least someone's having a good time tonight," as you point out.
Oh no.
Crowd is fucking they
Oh
eat it
yeah.
up.
Yeah. Yeah.
You make a mental note to start like selling shirts like that as merch, like fake sweat stained smiley face
Are they moving?
t-shirts. Yeah, dude.
How much am I selling them for?
$20 a pop.
It's pretty cheap.
It's pretty reasonable. You get a very good deal.
Okay, cool. That's great.
Yeah. There's this guy. He's just known as Gary. And
That's his name.
yeah.
You don't have to frame it like he's just known as that's his fucking you're describing his name.
Yeah.
His name's Gary.
Yeah. You never bother to learn his last name. He's kind of like your
All right.
t-shirt. He's like your t-shirt guy. He does t-shirts for a bunch of like bands and comics and stuff like that. And he's like, man, look, I'm a fan of yours, you know? So I'm gonna
Well,
give
that
you
rules.
he's like, yeah, man, like he's like, I'm not gonna talk shit about my clients, but most of them fucking suck. But you're pretty cool. I'm gonna give you a pretty
Thanks,
good deal.
Gary.
He goes,
I'd say, hey Gary,
yeah,
I got a question for you.
go ahead, my man.
What's your last name?
He kind of like looks out the window. You see reflected in his eyes like bolts of lightning, even though there's like no lightning outside.
Great. I'm talking to this guy, and there's a storm in his eyes, but there's nothing going on in a meteorological sense.
And he kind of like says in a tone of voice that makes you think of like a resurrected Lazarus. He says, Jones.
I go, okay, thank you.
So he's like, no problem,
I
man.
and I tell him, I say thank you for the hookup, and I appreciate the kind words.
He goes, of course, man. Always a pleasure, man. You leave. His next client comes in. She sits down. As the door closed, you hear him go, I got to be honest with you. Most of my clients are fucking assholes. And like the door closes.
Yeah, yeah. I don't care.
Right.
He can be blowing smoke. Just give me that good deal, baby. As long as I can keep, if I can sell shirts for 20 bucks a piece, I'm gonna sell a lot of shirts.
You are too.
I'm gonna move a lot of shirts if I can afford to keep it at $20.
The reason that you can afford to keep it at $20 is that you have taken on a job as like a pitchman, like in like commercials and stuff. You know how
Okay.
there's like companies where there's just like it's like Flow from Progressive, where like there's a
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
who's kind of associated with
Jared from
uh,
Subway.
Jared from Subway, of course. Yeah,
Classic example.
yeah. And like when they
The
pitched
State
it to you,
Farm guy.
pitched
Yeah.
it to you, they were like, and look, it's going to be the thing with like Flow or like Jared from Subway, and then
I don't want to be, lumped in with him. That's
one of
probably a
their
poor
assistant
choice.
one of their assistants like leans over and like whispers something in the ear, and they go, "Really? Huh?" They go, "Okay, well, scratch that." So like Flow, and the Geico lizard, maybe I don't know. And so you are now the celebrity endorser for a product called Man Ponds.
Man ponds.
So these are
What
tampons.
are they?
So the pitch is that they're so like the first commercial. What happens is there's like this guy and he's like gets into like a
Me.
car. No, he's like
This is,
someone else. A
oh,
guy
okay, okay.
gets into a car with his wife, and then he's about to leave. Then she stops and goes, "Ooh, honey, I just realized I forgot to buy tampons. Do you mind going back in and getting them?" And he just like turns bright red, and he's like, "Oh no!" And then like you pop up in the back seat, and you're like, "Are you tired of being embarrassed for buying feminine products for your wife? Then you're gonna love man ponds." So man ponds are basically tampons that men can buy and not kind of feel embarrassed about.
This fucking sucks, Matt.
It's
This fucking sucks.
it's aimed at a very specific part of the population. And your whole thing is that like, look, guys, like I know that maybe you can feel a little weird if you don't understand it, but like, you know, in your heart it's the right thing to do. Educate yourself. Like what they're like when you go to like manponds.com, there's actually a 35-minute video of you explaining to other dudes like, women's menstrual cycles and how they work and stuff like that. And honestly, it's kind of helping out. Dudes are kind of starting to like,
Well,
learn a
that's
little bit
good.
more and go, maybe this.
It seems like it's not purely capitalist money grab venture. Like there's some sort of ethical
Yeah, where it's like,
thing they're trying to solve here.
yeah, and that the commercial ends with you being like, man ponds, the tampon designed for you to stop buying. Because
Okay.
they're owned by like a, one of the big tampon
Yeah.
companies. And so their thing is like, we got the guys to buy this. Eventually they kind of realize how silly this is. They just start buying more.
What are the big tampon companies?
Playtex. It's owned by Playtex. And so their thing is
Yeah.
like, what we do is we market these towards guys who are like kind of insecure and like weird, or they just don't really get what's going on. And
Great. And
so
I'm gonna be
you're the face of it.
great.
And so it's like, and so they go in there and the tampons that they buy, they're in these containers that are like, there's like flames going down the side of them. And
Sure.
there's just like a hunk of cheese and like a guitar, And
Okay.
so the whole bit is like you pick it up like and you pick it up and the guy's like the guy goes in the commercial and he like grabs it and he kind of like looks at it and he's like, oh well, maybe this will be okay. And then like Billy Idol walks down the aisle
Yeah. Yeah.
and he goes, "Boy, sweet sweet man ponds," and then like grabs one himself and winks at him. And then like you're like leaning against the wall with your arms crossed and he catches your eye and you just kind of like nod and he's like gives you a big thumbs up and he's like, "Thanks, man ponds." Then you
So
go
I
get.
meet Billy Idol because of this.
Oh yeah, yeah. You shoot a commercial with them, yeah. And there by this point there's like a few of them. You know what I mean? So this is only like one of
So
them.
like what am I getting paid to do this? And like what is being required of me?
You're just like an actor. Like, you know what I mean? You're an
Yeah,
actor,
yeah.
you're a brand ambassador. Sometimes you make personal appearances, and you're also known as people see
Mr.
you.
Manponds.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, that guy's a comedian." And they're like, "All right, like maybe let's go check him out." Like you start kind of,
What do I get for doing this job? What
the
does it pay?
first the first year that you do it, you're getting paid $3 million.
Yeah, of course I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's helping you with like stand up and stuff. Like, you're
Yeah.
known, even though you're known as the man pawns guy. Like people go and they see you and they're like, "Oh, this guy's pretty funny. Hell yeah, this is cool." You just kind of start building a bit of
Great.
a. So you're there.
What a
You're
lucky stroke for
Yep.
me. I would
You
feel fortunate for that.
fuck yeah, and like you feel fortunate, dude, as you step off of that fucking stage, drenched
Ugh.
in sweat, and like as you're walking like through the crowd towards the back, there's like they're actually handing you man pawns for you to like use to like get the
To
sweat
dry
stuff off.
off.
Yeah, You go along
So
with it.
my
You're a
so
good
my
sport.
audience like brings their own man ponds to my shows.
I mean, not all the time, but sometimes.
Sometimes. Would
Yeah,
you
like
say that every single show somebody's bringing man ponds?
usually they bring a like a package of them for you to sign.
Okay. Yeah, I'd sign them. No
You'll
problem. No questions asked.
you'll sign like thanks for learning, brother, Aaron Brooks.
Yeah.
And so you're drenched in sweat. You're sopping it up with those fucking man palms.
Yeah.
You go to the back, sit down. You're like, man, you are feeling very, very good. They're actually the place is like putting you up somewhere. So you go to it's like a 4-star hotel. It's called
Okay.
it's called the Hotel for Distinguished Gentlemen.
Oh, it doesn't sound sketchy at all. A hotel for distinguished gentlemen?
And then there's an asterisk, and then like underneath it, it
What
says
is the
all are
name of this
welcome.
hotel has an asterisk?
Yeah, it says all are welcome. It's this like old like hotel that like they had back in the day when only men were allowed to be there, I guess. And so they're like, well, we have to keep the
They've had to
name.
amend their name.
Yeah, they're like, we can't change the name. That's been that name for forever. You know what I mean? So you stay there, and it is pretty good, man. They got very good service. They know how to take care of you.
Good.
You go to your room 420, crawl into bed, you fall asleep. You dream of a howling void. You wake up, stretch. The newspaper is ready and waiting at the front door of the hotel, or like of outside your hotel. I mean,
Yeah.
you open the door, you pick it up, and you are looking at the Dupo Chronicle. Underneath it says Chapter 2. So this is several years down the road. Dupo, Illinois, has become like a mega city. It has turned into this like essentially like I don't know what the word is, but like megaopolis or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it is
No, I
on.
don't, Pat. It's a town of 3,000 people. There's literally a bad side of the tracks to it. Like it's not a megaopolis. It's not going to grow.
So what happens is
This
this is a
sucks.
no, this is a few years down the road, and
Yeah.
they
There's like
struck
3,000 people there.
not anymore, brother. They started finding like precious metals and like diamonds and stuff in the hills of Dupo,
There's
and
a quarry right nearby.
yeah, and that's where the first gem of Dupo was found. The one that started this whole crazy modern day like gold rush almost in the
A gem rush is what you're saying.
yeah gem rush, and then also gold, silver, iron, platinum. So it started to like thrive in recent years, and so they've kind of built slowly. They built like a city, a big, even bigger part of the city around it, to where Dupo is now like the city where like the cover of like The Sims, where like all like the it's
Yeah.
like all the things are going like crazy, and like they're sort of like weirdly
Yeah.
shaped
Yeah.
and so, yeah, so they're kind of like that. Like there's they're just really really tall buildings, and some of them are like asymmetrical. Like there's definitely some experimentation with some of these
This
designs.
this would be right on the Mississippi River. Like this would butt up against the Mississippi River
Yeah, it butts right
and within a
up to it.
floodplain. This is
Oh,
the
that
dumbest fucking idea in the history of real estate. We're gonna put a megalopolis city in a floodplain on the biggest fucking river in the states, which has flooded before within the last 30 years,
so
31 years.
it happens so gradually, them building this sort of Dupo sort of,
Sprawl.
yeah, that people didn't really notice until it was sort of, too late, until they were literally right up butting up against that fucking river, dude. And then people were like, "Oh no, the floods," and then like people were like, "Ah, we'll take care of it." So there's sort of like a blasé, like kind of attitude about it right now because the city is doing so well. There are, like I said, gems, stones, diamonds. Um, One of the original copies of the Bible was found there too. Like no one knows where it came from.
The fuck? Just hanging out in limestone.
Yeah, they well no, they found it in the library, the Dupo library.
What?
Yeah, it was in the it was in like the mystery section, so I guess like no one really noticed for a long time that it was just like miss like what do you call
How the fuck did nobody see one of the original texts of the Bible in the
it's
Dupo library?
it's signed by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
The Beatles of the Bible.
So you are kind of doing like this hometown, you know, hero coming back to the now thriving city of Dupo, Illinois, where this I mean some of these buildings they extend into the clouds, dude. There's one that's like perpetually in shadow. And so you're there and you're doing like you were headlining you're just doing like a bar show. You know, your thing is like, look, I'll do any, you know, like I do pretty well like with this whole man pond thing. And like I'm doing, you know, doing I do like enough, you know, private gigs and corporate gigs and stuff that like honestly, man, I'm happy just kind of doing whatever. So like if you want me to do your show and it's an hour's drive from here and you're paying me in drink tickets, fuck it. I just like to perform, man. So like so you're basically playing at this bar show in Dupo, Illinois. Staying at the Hotel for Distinguished Gentlemen. All are welcome. You head downstairs and you see that they have like this sign up that says like breakfast buffet ends at 11 a.m.
Damn, that's a late buffet.
It's
That is
actually
a fucking late buffet, man.
Yeah, it was actually part of like that was like on your rider is you need to be put up in a hotel that has a late buffet, as late as is legally possible. And so
11 a.m. is probably it.
you walk into the dining area, you look down at your watch. It's 10:59.
Oh, no, I feel bad.
You walk in, everyone who works there looks up at you at the same time. They all smile and they all say at the same time, "Aaron." They go, "Don't worry, brother. We got you covered." They like open up their like the buffet, whatever you call those things, the covers or whatever,
The
and
pans, the hotel pans.
the hotel pans, and there is breakfast delicacy after breakfast delicacy in front of you. You know what I mean? So you're there. They go, "Don't even worry about." They go, "Dude, stay as long as you like." Like I said, dude, very good service, and you get the feeling that like they're not just bullshitting. You know what I mean? You get the feeling they were like waiting for you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, man.
So you walk over to the buffet line, and you're like the only one there. And so you think to yourself, it's been a while since I went to a buffet. And you kind of think to yourself, do I still have that dog in me? You pick up your
Buffet dog?
you pick up your fucking breakfast plate and you load up, my friend. That
Oh,
dog,
man.
that dog is alive, it is awake, and it is howling. And so you sit down with your like and like basically you have your entire plate strategically placed out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I'm not going at this. I'm like a rookie.
No, no, no. You know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You bite into your first thing that you bite into is like a bagel. What kind of toppings do you normally put on your bagel?
Um, Man, if I'm having a bagel, it's usually within the context of like egg and cheese. I'm not just gonna like get a bagel, like cream cheese. That's just not my move normally.
Luckily, one of the buffet trays had like several bacon with egg and cheese.
Okay. And bacon, okay.
How do you like your
I like,
eggs?
I mean, in that context, scrambled, you know,
And you look down
scramble them for me.
at the bagel before you take a bite out of it. You kind of like open it up a little bit to peek inside. You kind of think of yourself as a eager child on Christmas
Yes.
Eve, wanting to open up its present, and just take a peek. And you do. And these are the most scrambled eggs that you have ever seen in your fucking life. You think to your,
Most scrambled.
you think to yourself, it's like they made them for me.
Okay.
Take a bite out of that bagel, and I got to be honest with you, it is the best breakfast bagel you've ever had in your life.
Man,
The eggs are, like I said, scrambled as fuck. They are the perfect temperature, fluffy in all the right places. You
it's only
chew,
one. It's just eggs.
you kind of like think that to yourself. You swallow the bagel, and then you hear, Aaron, Aaron.
What the fuck?
You
What the
got
fuck? Where's this?
you kind of like hear that voice and you go what, and you look up and like you look around and there's like nobody there, you know what I mean, like the servers are all like gone, I guess. And you're like, oh, it must have come from that TV. And you look over and you on the TV screen there's like a football game going, and there's
Yeah.
like the camera is like focused on the referee.
Yeah.
He goes, Aaron, Aaron. His voice like kind of like echoes,
Yeah. Yeah.
like he's speaking to one of those microphones. The thing that's kind of odd about this guy is that he kind of has the face of an older man, but he is jacked, dude.
Yeah.
Swole as fuck. The
Yeah.
veins just run. You can like see veins through his shirt, his referee shirt.
Cut up.
He goes, Aaron, Aaron. He goes, my name is Calvin Morway, the buff referee. And he steps through the TV
Oh, Jesus.
as he says this. He like comes out of the TV.
Yeah.
And as he's standing in front of you, you thought he looked buff before. Like this close, he looks fucking like ripped.
Man.
Around his neck is the biggest whistle that you've ever seen in your fucking life. He says to you,
Yeah.
I'm the buff referee, Calvin Morway, and the gods have granted me the ability to change the rules. You can either become a really great chef or travel through outer space. You decide. And as he says that, you kind of like notice over his shoulder that like all of the football players, they're all like in formation.
Yeah.
Like they kind of like look out. It's almost like this can't be, but it's like they're looking at you, like waiting.
Oh, okay. They're waiting for me to decide.
Yeah.
That's their entertainment.
He says, you decide. Side.
Make me a chef, baby. Let me feed other people. I already like to cook.
Yeah. He's, he says, you have chosen. Be a really great chef. He blows that whistle and you fall to your knees, almost as if you hear the voice of God. That is how loud this fucking whistle is, dude. And it doesn't even necessarily, you're not even aware of pain. That's how loud it
Yeah.
is. All you're aware of is the sheer volume and how much it encapsulates your surroundings, all of time and space, almost as if bend to the will of this man's whistle.
Calvin Morway.
Whistle stops. He kind of like steps back up through the TV. Game starts again.
Who's playing?
The Denver Broncos are playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who are they playing against?
themselves. So you
Okay. It's like an exhibition, like
it's
a
just like
practice.
it's kind of like a Buddhist thing that they're they're
Okay, the Denver Broncos as an organization.
yeah, they've been bought out by like this Buddhist investment firm now own the Denver Broncos. And
Okay.
so they're doing things like this where it's like showing that like, really when you're at war with yourself, even if you win, you still lose. You know what I mean? So that's like they're doing a lot of stuff like that with the team. They're taking advantage of, the fact they can kind of do whatever they want and to kind of spread their message of, you know, Buddhism.
All right.
So you fly back to Los Angeles, and you're kind of, as far as like this quarter goes, you're done filming Manpon commercials because normally it's like you knock out like a bunch in a week. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like kind of in rotation. You do them like every quarter or whatever. So you kind of have some downtime, and start thinking to yourself, you know what? Maybe I should start like cooking more. You already love
Yeah.
to do it, but you decided that you were ready to take your cooking to the next level.
Cool.
So you kind of think to yourself, like, what would be the first thing you'd want to learn how to make? Do you think, if you're gonna like go to the next level of cooking?
And I think if I was gonna be intentional about it, I think I would want to go back and like learn the basics, you know,
Yeah,
yeah, improve my knife skills, learn how to make mother sauces, stuff like that.
sure,
Like,
yeah, and you kind of think to yourself, like, yeah, like, you know, when it comes down to it, the fundamentals, the stuff that we pay attention to in life are, the crazy, flashy, guitar work of Eddie Van Halen, not the tasteful, subdued, fucking fundamentals of Lester Flat. That's the stuff that people, as you get older, you start to appreciate Lester Flat from Flat and Scruggs. His just bare bones, let's get to it style of guitar playing. That's what you are trying to emulate with your cooking.
flat from Flat and Scruggs.
Yeah. And so you kind of think to yourself, okay, yeah, I'm gonna learn the fundamentals. And so you buy yourself a expensive new cutting knife. You get some really nice onions,
Yeah.
garlic. You bring it home and you set them down. And the second that you pick up that cutting knife, you fucking go to work. And it's almost like that thing where you know how in like the Born Identity, it's like a guy who wakes up and like something happens to him and suddenly he
Yeah.
instinctually knows how to fight and like fucks people up and he's like, how can I do this?
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now. You are
Okay.
slicing and dicing these onions. You think of like, it's like Michelangelo, you know what I mean, with a fucking paintbrush. That's you with that cutting knife. Those onions and especially that garlic do not stand a chance. And so you're like, huh. And then you're like, well, let's just see how far this goes. You throw some butter into a pan that's already fucking hot as fuck. You don't even remember turning this thing on, dude. You don't know where this pan came from. You throw
So
some butter on there, toss in the onions and the garlic, and they are sizzling, baby. You look down at the garlic as it like starts to like turn like a darker shade, starts to
like
yeah,
a nutty hue.
a nutty shade of garlic. And you look down, and for a second, it's as if the garlic is dancing. You know what I mean? Like that's how good your fucking technique has instantly become. So you start thinking to yourself, well, what else can I add to this? You grab some tomatoes, you grab some other stuff, and within like an hour or so, you have made undoubtedly the best fucking meatloaf that you've ever had in your goddamn life. To the
Okay.
point where you bite into this meatloaf and you think to yourself, what has my life been before this? Just for a moment. For a moment, you feel an almost like really disturbing like emptiness, but then it goes away just for a
With
second,
meatloaf.
just for the first bite. Yeah. So you start getting into cooking, dude, and like it starts off with you just like being like, "Hey guys, like, why don't you guys come over for dinner tonight? I'm gonna cook some dinner," and people, your friends, are like, "Sure," and like they show up. Danny Palumbo shows up. It's his last night before he moves, and he's
Yeah.
like, he eats like you make like spaghetti and meatballs, and he's like in tears by how good it is.
Yeah. Fuck you.
He goes, Brooksy, I gotta be honest with you. I never respected you at all, but now I do. All right. Eh, good luck to you. He leaves. So it starts off like that. You just having not like dinner parties, but you know what I mean. Well, I guess kind of dinner parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like
Yeah.
cooking dinner for
I'm
people.
entertaining.
Yeah, you're entertaining. People are coming to hang out. Like I said, you're making several mil a year, so like you're doing pretty okay as far as like where you're living. You know what I mean? So
I could put on a nice dinner party in the middle of the week. No
ap-
problem.
without even breaking a sweat, though
That's
you
great.
do.
Yeah.
You absolutely
The
sweat.
t-shirts. Yeah.
Everyone at the dinner party is wearing those t-shirts. Like it's their
Why?
biggest because they just think they're cool and they want to support the arts. So it starts off with these dinner parties, but then like things start getting like bigger and like bigger and bigger to the point where you're like running a like food truck. You have
So I'm turning
decided,
this into a full-fledged business.
yes, you have decided to use your newfound cooking skills bestowed upon you by Calvin Morway, the buff referee. You were given this ability, and you've decided to just pick one type of food and focus on it and become like the undisputed master of it. And
What
that's
do I
why
pick?
chili. The food truck that you operate out of is getting rave reviews, all like in like every local like zine or like blog or whatever like that. It started to become really big because there's like this traveling like you like a vlogger type of guy, who does like TikToks about like different places that he eats at, and his whole bit is like, I'm gonna travel the world and I'm gonna like find the best, like small restaurants, sample their best food, and beat off in their bathrooms. So his thing is that he beats off at every restaurant that he goes to. So he reviews the food and and beats off.
And there are accommodations.
Yeah.
Well, we just have a truck, so he's probably gonna have to crank it in a porta potty or like a 7-Eleven nearby or something. I don't know what this Jack situation is for this, but
Yeah, and it's never really made clear exactly what happens, but he makes a stop at your place, and he's
what's
like,
it
"Hey,
called?
uh, it's called the thrill of the chili,
And I'm just selling bowls of chili.
bowls of chili, but like different types of
God,
chili. Like you have like some pretty inventive stuff there, you
what do you
know.
mean?
Like you have one chili that has that meatloaf in it, you know. You have that was really good, meatloaf chili. You're selling one thing. You have like a vegan chili that's really good. You have one thing that you call Aaron's top secret chili. That's a really good one. It's so secret that even you don't know what's in it.
So I'm just lying.
No, you have no idea. Once, every couple of days in your sleep, you will sleepwalk and you will make this chili. And you every time you've tried to like videotape your like you've set up like cameras
Yeah.
to catch yourself. Every time it happens, you'll like your like sleepwalking body will like lurch into the kitchen nude, and then the cameras will always turn off. It doesn't matter where they are, what brand they are, what power source they're attached to. So you don't know what's in it. You
Great.
just all you know is that you cook it nude and you cook it in your sleep. But it is damn good. It is tangy. There are the onions in it hold, they stand their ground against that fucking sauce, dude. You know? You use sweet tomatoes and the onions, by God, stand their ground.
Good to know that I'm mastering several different chili recipes.
So this person on TikTok, like he's like, "Hey guys, it's your boy Brandon Beach, and we're here at Thrill the Chili. We're gonna try Aaron's secret chili." And he takes a big bite, and then he just goes and doesn't speak for 17 seconds, which in TikTok time is huge.
Yeah,
Like he just looks down, like he takes a bite out of it and looks down at the empty spoon
in
and
disbelief.
in disbelief. And he kind of mumbles under his breath, though you can hear it if you turn the volume up enough. He mumbles, "They should have sent a poet." So that helps with drive up business. So you're doing pretty good. Thrill the Chili is going very, very well.
So bad.
You're walking around
Chili restaurant,
yeah, well, a food truck, but you're doing
a
so
food
well
truck.
that you're like, man, I think that I can get and it's very expensive to get a big an actual brick and mortar restaurant,
Yeah,
even for someone making 3 mil a year, plus all those $20 t-shirt sales. That's still a lot of money. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
your thing is you're doing good. It's however you think to yourself, it's my first year as a spokesman, so I don't know, maybe you don't know what they're gonna do. They could change their whole thing on a dime and just have someone else come in. You know what I mean? There's no
Yeah.
indication that they're gonna do that, but you don't know. You know what I mean? So you're just trying to save as much money as you can, or at the very least, you're not trying to be too extravagant. You know what I mean? Except for the quality of your ingredients. One day, you're muted. One day, you are walking around town. You see a sign that says Chili Contest, sponsored by the Lanalax Corporation. On Sunday, there's this chili contest going on. Lanalax Corporation is putting it on, and it says cash prize $10 million.
Holy shit.
It says for more, visit our website. What do you do?
I would go to the website.
You take out your phone and do the passcode, and you hit the internet browser and it's already on their website.
Okay.
And so it's lanalex.com backslash chili contest 2024. And basically it's it's $3 to enter. It's on Sunday, and the best chili wins. The best chili, no questions asked. And
Okay.
it's being judged by some heavy hitters in the chili game. So
Yeah, yeah.
it's legit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
there are names there that you didn't think you were gonna meet for a very long time. You know what I mean? That's how high they are in the chili culture.
Yeah, I mean, if this seems like very convenient and right nearby, and what's the downside?
It's $3 to enter. Do you do it?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So you register, to do it. Saturday night, and you were pumped. You know exactly what you're gonna do, what you're gonna enter. You walk into your kitchen, you're about to go to sleep, and you think to your, and you but you're kind of you have a lot of adrenaline, you know what I mean? Because you're so
Yeah.
pumped. Um,
Nervous energy.
of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. Nervous energy for sure. You feel good, but you're still fuck, who knows? You know what I mean? Because again, it's being judged by heavy hitters, and there are some heavy hitters who are entering this.
Sure, I mean, it's $3.
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
probably a pretty wide field.
yeah. You think to yourself, this is really gonna be it's the who's who to who's that of the chilly world. And so, in order to kind of calm down and go to sleep, you decide to get yourself a glass of warm milk.
Oh,
You walk into the kitchen, and sitting at your kitchen table is a man.
what the fuck?
There are two glasses of milk on your kitchen table and an empty chair that's pulled out. Sitting at your table is this guy. He kind of has like gray stringy hair. He's wearing like a green like jumpsuit almost. Um kind of shy and like weird looking, and he kind of like he doesn't even really like look at you when you walk in. He's very shy. And you kind of like look at him and you're like, "What the fuck?" You look down, and instead of shoes, he has like so there's like stalks of celery, and there's like carrots as like skis, and they're like against the wall. And he goes, "Hello, Aaron. I'm the Prince of Vegetables. Do you have a minute? Please say yes."
Get the fuck out of my house. Get the fuck out. You can't just show up in my kitchen with two glasses of milk. Now you're drinking my milk.
He goes,
I'm
he,
gonna have to do your dishes when you go. I don't even want warm milk.
he goes, "Well, I brought the milk in the glasses, so I mean, I'll just bring them home.
Yeah,
I'll
take
just
them
bring them
with
home
you.
with me." He goes,
Take them.
"Yeah, but I mean, do you have like maybe like a minute to talk? I
What do
mean,
you
it's."
what do you want?
He goes, he slides across the table
Oh fuck.
a jalapeno. He goes, "Hey man, look, I'm the Prince of Vegetables. You know my whole thing." He goes, "I'm just gonna give you this jalapeno. If you use it in this chili contest, you're gonna win." He slides it even closer to you. Suddenly, you're like sitting at the table, glass of warm milk in hand.
I'm giving number one, I'm giving him that milk back. I don't want his warm milk that he brought from home.
But
I'm gonna pass on his milk.
the milk, when it's the glass is up against your palm, and you hold it against your palm almost sensuously.
How the fuck do you hold a glass of milk sensuously?
Well, you do. You don't. Almost, I said. And so you kind of, but like you kind of go, "No, I don't know this milk span." You kind of like slide it across, even though like as you slide it across, as the second that you start giving him his milk back, you like fucking regret it because it's the perfect temperature of warm.
You're telling me it's warm, which does not sound like good milk.
But it's how you fall asleep.
I don't.
You're actually dressed for bed. You're
Come
wearing like
on.
one of those things where it's like a
Come
from head
on.
to toe like a pajama thing. You know what I mean? Like you wore
Yeah,
when
like
you were a little
a
kid.
gown.
Yeah, and like you have like the butt flap in the back,
Yeah.
but like the butt flap has like a rabbit like little tail on it. You just think it's funny. You're holding your like candle wick. You know what I mean that you have. Do you accept the Prince of Vegetables offer of a jalapeno?
Yeah, fine. I'll take his jalapeno. I go, will you get out of my fucking house, please?
He goes, "Yeah, thanks, Aaron." He gets up and just like skis out. You know,
Just take the
surprisingly
milks with
quickly.
him.
You look down. You don't recall seeing him grab them because he skis. You know what I mean? So
But
he
they're
uses
but they're gone.
they're not there anymore.
It's like, okay.
Even though the heat remains. So
I don't even know what the fuck that means.
the warmness of the milk. So you wake up the next day and you make your chili for this big contest. You chop up those onions and you kind of think of like, all those many weeks before that first time we started, you realize your crazy abilities in the kitchen. You know what I mean? And you kind of start feeling nostalgic, like you're feeling pretty good. So you're cutting them up. You look over, you see that jalapeno, and it's almost like it's aching to be chopped up. Like you
Ugh.
feel an almost longing from this jalapeno. What do you do?
And he fucking got the shit out of it.
You chop up that jalapeno, you throw it into the pan, it sizzles, Tomatoes are put in. You make the whole. You do the whole thing. You make the chili. You bring it into like the contest. Like I said, is that day. You go in, and like I said, it's being judged by a couple big deals. It's being judged. The chili contest is being judged by the celebrity that they flew in for it is what's that fucker's name? Smiley Cyrus's dad,
Billy Ray.
Billy Ray Cyrus. So he is a celebrity guest. There's a guy whose name is Michael Chucks. He is without a doubt the most exciting voice on the chili scene. He can't. It wouldn't be fair for him to be in this contest. You know what I mean?
He's that good.
Yeah. Darwin, um, Slegels. He is known as the Chili King of the Northeast. The guy who owns Chili's is there too.
Yeah.
So there are some pretty impressive people there.
Yeah.
So you set up your chili stand. You write Aaron's cool chili is what you call this. First person shows up is this guy. He's like, ooh, tell me about this chili. What do you say?
I mean, which one am I giving him?
The one that this is like it's just like your go-to chili recipe.
Is
The
this
sta-
the secret
it's not
one
the
from my
secret one.
restaurant?
It's called you call it the
Mm.
standard because it
I
is
tell
this
him
it
this
is
is
the standard that you set your whole stuff by.
I tell him this is this a standard chili recipe.
And he
It's
goes
classic chili.
he goes, huh? Takes a little sample and he goes, huh? And he kind of goes like with his teeth or with his lips, smacks them,
Yeah.
and he smacks his teeth very loud,
Okay.
as loud as the thunder. It feels like, and he goes, my friend, this might be the best chili that I ever had in my fucking life. And someone passing by hears him say that and goes like, what? And like they have some and they go, oh my god, and like word gets out.
Yeah.
There is a line of like 35 people waiting for this chili,
Standard.
the standard. And you get to the last person in line. It's this guy, uh, Mickey Timbers, and he goes, "Ha! I've heard a lot of stuff about this chili. Pah, we'll see though." And he takes a bite and he goes, "Oh my god!" He looks up at you and he goes, "I can die happy." And then he does.
Oh,
His
Jesus Christ.
his heart explodes,
Jesus.
and suddenly you kind of look around and you see that every single person who ate your chili, they
What the fuck?
they kneel over
What
dead.
the fuck?
All of their hearts explode, and it's almost like a tidal wave where it starts with this guy and it kind of spreads throughout like the chili fair, and so it's like like all these people like, and it's all on film and stuff, so it kind of becomes like kind of a big deal. Um, they kind of like you get arrested, and when they analyze it, they find out that the jalapeno that you use was like laced heart exploding
Jesus Christ.
with heart exploding like extracts or whatever. And so you
Yeah.
as the Prince of Vegetables is like fucked up. You didn't mean it, and you end up going on trial for it, and
Yeah.
you're found guilty of the deaths of like 75 people.
That
And
sucks.
your punishment is that you have to eat your chili, and you do, and your heart explodes right there in the
Jesus
courtroom.
Christ.
They go, "You have been
That's
found guilty," and then they give you the bowl of chili, and you eat it. They go, well, "I sentence you to chili," and you die. the
that
last thing you
fucking
hear,
sucks.
the last thing you hear before your heart explodes is the voice of the Prince of Vegetables going like, "Oh, sorry, Aaron, I gave you the wrong jalapeno, man."
Fuck him. Fuck him.
You don't have to worry about him anymore because you're fucking
Yeah, I'm not
dead.
gonna. Fuck him.
So many people die.
75. Plus me.
Yeah, but
76.
in the news story about it, they just say 75 people killed by overweight comedians special chili.
Right.